live from my kitchen in Boring, Oregon. Two deer. Look. Oh my gosh. Two deer. Where are they? Look at his. Here. Look at their two deer. Grab this junk here. I hate all this junk. Yeah, see, Bobby says all this stuff is just junk.
How should I get there?
Yeah, he sees me.
Oh, he's standing up.
There's two of them. Do you see the other
Oh, I
one?
see, yeah. What happened to the stand which that was on?
The what?
The stand.
I don't know. Okay. Anyway, we got two deer in the front yard, and they are cuter than cute. They're probably gonna have babies pretty soon.
Oh, baby deer.
Yeah, they're gonna do the mumbo jumbo, the samba mamba. The samba mamba. Oh, look at his legs, kind of weird. Is he injured? Oh,
There's 3 deer.
there is?
Huh? I see. Oh no, that's one. Okay, I thought for a second there were 2.
Oh, look at his leg.
Oh,
Something's wrong. Oh, the way they walk. Hi, Liza. Larry was going to call you. Any word on your visa? Any update? Look at that deer. Is walking. Well, I got it on the regular camera. Oh, wow. There was a hawk that went up. Anyway, you can't really see the deer, but we're going to talk a little bit about hospital stuff. You know, look at my arm. Look at that. And people get so mad and they blame the doctor and say, look what the doctor did. And they almost killed me. And it's just terrible. Yeah. And yeah, it is terrible. And look at my arms, are just full of this. And what happened to me is, yeah. Anyway, hold on a second. So what happens is when they put the needle in here. Oh, let's put the potatoes in the microwave for 5 minutes, and I'll put
so we don't have half cooked
yeah.
potato.
Put them in 5 minutes, and I'll put a plate on top there. Anyway, I'll explain why some people bruise more than others, but it's not anything horrible. Put it on. Oh, here.
I need a plate.
Okay. Put it on clear.
5.
No, here. Oh. Turn the light on.
Oh, it's already 16 seconds. Cancel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what happens is the needle is like a scoop, and then the flat top, and it's got a pointy end. So when it goes into the vein, it goes in and it seals off. But if it doesn't seal off, and you get bleeding around the edges, that's when you get this purple mark. And it's nothing they did wrong or anything. I've done it to people. It's just that the blood gets around the vein. This one's pretty bad. This one hurts. And then this one's, it looks ugly, but you know, it's good for sad fishing. I'm going to set up a GoFundMe page. I want $25,000 because I want a GoFundMe page for. Turn that up a little bit.
Should I start doing? Oh, carrot goes in here.
Yeah.
Oh, the potatoes are there.
Yeah. So.
Can you do? Yeah.
I found out why. I think I found it. Look how cute I look, huh? The girls got me these Mexican Mickey Mouse. Anyway, hey Liza, you want to go to? Maybe we'll take you to Disneyland. Maybe not. Maybe not. Gas in the crazy bus is way too much. And then Larry went over there to check everything, as he usually does. And he noticed that the refrigerator wasn't cold. And then he noticed that a bank of batteries had shorted out. And now mind you, this motorhome is fairly new. There's only 7,000 miles on it. Hasn't been ridden that much. So anyway, the batteries were all shorted out, and it shorted the refrigerator and the freezer out. So that all moldy and mildew, and all the food got rotten. So we lost all that food. There was a lot of frozen Amy's dinners, because we like Amy's dinners on the road. So, oh, and that's what I should do, the GoFundMe page, is I have bought a lot of food, put it in the motorhome, and I lost all that food. Oh my gosh. And then the turtle tank. Now, I don't pay any attention to the turtle tank because we just flush the turtle tank, and you flush the turd and it'll take care of itself. The turtle, you know how to take care of a turtle? You flush it in the toilet and a turtle will take care of itself. That's naughty. Anyway, I'm making fun of somebody stupid begging for money. And they're talking about how rich they are with the guest house on a lake and everything that they inherited. You don't do that. You don't go sad fishing when you got $1 million in property. Now, I ask people for money. Like at Christmas time, I used to have our whole church join in and get some gifts for one of the boys. And his father had MS really bad. Don Taylor. And his wife had MS too, and had left him and the boys. So he was alone with the boys.
Okay.
And be careful. Take the lid off. No, I told you to be careful.
Yeah, I know.
No. That's how people get burned. No, leave it.
Okay.
Here, cut this. So anyway,
Smells good.
smells good. Steam burns are extremely dangerous.
Never got burned.
Well, that's why I said, be careful. I didn't want you doing that because you could have dumped that whole thing of potatoes on your arms.
One time I done, I was in a pot. I had hot water and I wanted to get my nasal passages clear. So I use steam and I dumped the whole thing of steam thing on my. Oh,
Anyway,
I thought it's that.
You could have been burned a little bit ago and we'd be on our way to the burning area. And I'm not kidding you.
I have seen my mom get burned.
No, this was way worse.
She had gotten burned with hot oil in her face.
Oh my. But you have hot water.
I steamed my face one time with a big thing of hot water, like the Instant Pot, and I dumped that on myself one time.
Wow. So you have to be really careful with water, and do not be careless. I'm not kidding you.
Is it stone? It looks stone.
No. Which one?
The other vegetables, I don't think so. Cabbage looks right there.
Okay, get me a. Yeah, see these big pieces.
Oops. There's some cabbage also.
That's right. So, what was I talking about?
All me getting burned, but before that I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, burns are deadly. I got burned really bad. But
What is this? Black thing?
oh, that's just fried, or it's fried hard. It's not bad. Chicken wings. So I wanted to talk about what happened to me, why I ended up in the hospital, calling an ambulance, and went to the hospital by ambulance. I had walked from my living room. Language of horses, hello. Oh, I love your horses. Did you, language of horses, hello. I'm gonna make you a moderator so you can post a link to your, that way people can see that you have a, we got it? Let's see, I got you as a moderator. Just put a thumbs up or say hi, language of horses. And that way I can see if you're blue. Make sure you're a moderator so you can put a link to your. Oh, my back. My back is hurting me so bad.
Sorry.
Let's see, now, a moderator. I used to think being a moderator for somebody was something really big. I mean, like Wow. Wow, really cool. And I thought, man, I could never be a moderator for somebody because they're too stupid. But anyway, it's been a long weekend. I haven't seen my sister in a long time, and she came to visit me. Maybe she thought I was going to die. Anyway, I'm 7 years older than her. I don't want to say too much, but I needed somebody such as support. I needed this support from people. I didn't need people to tell me my house is dirty and that I have too much junk. I know I do. I have too much junk because it's Liza's fault. Liza came, and then so we only have 3 bedrooms in the main house and then 2 bedrooms in the guest house. So we put Liza in the main house, and then how's that doing? So I needed, and I have corn rotators, and my back has been bothering me, so I have some pretty serious pain in my back and my spine. And picking stuff up is painful. Just leave it. Yeah, I don't want any more accidents.
I'm not going to touch it. I just want to open close so it doesn't leak.
Yeah. So anyway, I turn the garbage disposal on just for a second.
Turn what on?
Garbage disposal. Just for a second.
Get the water on?
Okay, thank you. So I needed some TLC. I didn't need to be told that my house was dirty. And I explained my house wasn't the cleanest. I had junk piled up here and there because Paul, when the girls came to our house,
Here.
really didn't have hair.
I don't know whose hair. Everyone has a similar hair color here. How it looks. It's little curly.
Little curly hair.
Probably not mine.
I hope it's not short curly hair. You know where that's from.
Oh!
Really?
Short curly hair. What?
Huh? What? Huh?
Oh.
Short curly hair. Now she just got it.
Do you understand?
Now she
You're
got it.
too dirty. No.
That's dirty, huh?
You're too wet. Yesterday. Huh? Yesterday we were talking about how I cannot eat bananas at school because people looking at me.
Why?
Banana, and then
Looks like a carrot.
no,
A bent carrot.
I think you know what we mean.
Peyronie's disease.
I think Cheryl knows what we mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All this, but not the old.
So you know,
Huh?
that's people that have dirty minds that do that.
Are we gonna put some salt in there?
Yeah. I'll put the salt. I don't want you to put salt.
Okay.
You put a mountain of salt in there.
For us it will be good. For you it will be too salty probably.
Anyway, so let me get back to what happened is I had walked from my chair to the kitchen. So my chair is right there. My old people chair it's right there by that white cabinet. let's see, where's that white button? The old people chair. So it's like 10 steps, and I took 10 steps, and by the time I got right here, I stopped right here, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't take a breath. I was gasping, and I thought, that's weird. What's wrong with me? And then I started getting dizzy, and I thought I was going to faint. So I thought, there's something wrong. And somebody at church, John Peel, he had something similar, and he went to the hospital. They ran some tests, and they said he was having a heart attack. So he had bypass. He had stents put in, not a full bypass. That's just a little. But still, that's serious, and he just about died from that. And so I knew that I should go to the hospital, that there was something wrong. And then I recovered, and I started feeling better. And I thought, well, it can't be my heart. I don't have chest. Yes, I do have chest pain. But my back was hurting. My whole back was just on fire. Go see if the deer are in the backyard, on the side yard.
We're going to put milk.
Yeah. Cameron's worried that we're not going to put enough potatoes. Cameron loves potatoes. Oh my God. I have never seen anybody love potatoes like this girl. She is a tater girl. And so when we had her birthday party, we had Mr. Potato Head for her birthday party. And that was fun, huh?
Yeah.
And then, you know what? I made you a pillowcase with potatoes and french fries, but I'm not done with it. It's cute. And I embroidered your name on it. So anyway, so something was wrong. And I knew gasping for breath, to take a breath, it is not good. So I was going, no, I couldn't even go wheeze. I was just going, like I was being smothered. No, leave him out. He ate that mouse. He can stay outside for the next 50 years. Ew. He got mouse guts on his face. So I knew something was wrong. So then I recovered. And then I walked slowly to our bedroom. And by the time I got to my bedroom, I was dizzy and I wasn't able to breathe again. And I thought, no. So I remember what John Peel said. He said, you know, you can have there's one called the Widowmaker, where you just have a heart attack and you just die. And I know a couple of people in our church recently have died. Yes? No? Pepper? Yeah, pepper. And it's no salt. So I was worried, and then my chest pain, and my neck pain, and my back pain. And I thought, something is really terribly wrong. So I better go to the ER. And I'm not going to go by car. Because if you go by car, then when you get there, they don't take care of you right away. So, let's see, let's put a lid on that. One of those big glass lids. Yeah, put a big glass lid on there. Lid. Cameron's from Taiwan, and she's learning to speak English. So we're going to keep her for another year. You want to go back to Taipei? Huh? Maybe. Bigger one. You want to stay here? You know why? I'm worried about you going.
I need to finish my school.
But you can finish school here. Put this in there. I'm worried about you going back to Taipei because China is trying to take over Taiwan.
They are trying for 50 years.
I know,
and
but
they
this
never-
is different. This is different, I know. And I don't. She's going to have to isolate in a hotel by
What did you say?
herself.
She just told me that now the rules changed or something that you can go home. The thing is, the hotel is very safe.
Yeah, my church was very safe. My church was very safe. It was safe. But you know what happened to me?
Did the bottoms burn or something?
No. Anyway, people do bad stuff, and I don't want you to go back and get into trouble or have somebody do something bad to you. I'm really worried for her. Larry is too. So anyway, I sat on the bed and my heart was beating really fast and weird, and I started having premature ventricular contractions. That's PVCs. And I've had those for a long time. It's part of having vitamin deficiencies, or I have a mitral valve prolapse and some other heart conditions, and I had a heart attack a long time ago. They said, I don't believe it. Anyway, so I pushed my alarm button, and it goes wee 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 all throughout that house. And Larry came running. He says, "You pressed your button. What happened?" I said, "Larry, something's wrong." And then he saw me and he says, "Oh dear, yeah, something's wrong." He says, "Well, what do you want to do?" I says, "I need to go to the ER." So he doesn't want to pay the money for the ambulance bill. So he wanted to drive me. And he did that when he had his heart attack. And they got mad at him. They said, "No, that's wrong." So they let me go in the ambulance. It was not like we can't afford it. I mean, my goodness sakes. Is this clean? No, this is dirty. So I went by ambulance. It's a half-hour drive. And the Portland Adventist Hospital. Here, put these in there, girls. So I get there, and they started taking care of me and hooking me up with heart monitors, because I was convinced by then it was a heart attack. They said, "No, your heart looks good. Let's do some labs." And a couple years ago, I had what's called an arteriovenous malformation. Is anybody listening to this, or is this just talking to myself? I don't care. I'll ramble on. I need to talk. I don't care if there's anybody here. But I do thank you. If there's one person here, thank you. And people watch the replay. So I thought, well, something's wrong. So they drew my blood, and then they came back in with a red band and stuff. So I knew then that I was being type and crossed. They type your what's your blood type, and they cross match it with the blood. And so I knew I was getting a blood transfusion because I've had over 60 of them. I had one every week for too long. So then they said, "Well, we're typing and crossing you. We're going to give you a blood transfusion." I said, "Well, what's my hemoglobin?" 5.1. And I said, "No." I says, "Yeah, you made a mistake." And I looked, and it says 5.2 or 5 point something. Anyway, so it was down in the fives. And so I knew I was in trouble. And I was still gasping for air, and I was getting scared. And they gave me some Xanax, and that really helped. Oh, wait till you hear this part. So that night I got a blood transfusion, and then they checked my blood in the morning, and I went up to a 7-point hemoglobin, and then I went back down to a 5, and they said, we're going to give you some more blood. I said, really, good night. What's going on here? Check that. And so they said, you're leaking. And they asked me, have you seen black stools? And I said, yeah, I had black poo-poo. And I didn't pay any attention to it because I thought it was from taking iron. I'm taking supplemental iron. And when you take iron pills or something, it makes you, gives you constipation and makes your poop black. So I didn't pay any attention. I didn't want to go to the hospital because I've been treated like crap before and dismissive, and doctor didn't give a darn and thought I was faking it. So I went to this one doctor. This is when this first happened, and I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying here, because you have to be an advocate for yourself. You cannot let somebody be dismissive. Well, this doctor came in and she says, you're just having a panic attack and an inner ear virus. And that's what's making you dizzy. And there's nothing wrong with you. And I said, no, there is something wrong with me. And she was a big, big gal. I don't want to fat shame because I've lost 50 pounds because of my Crohn's disease. But this lady was size lard, Lardge, lard. And she was also a Lebesian. You know what a Lebesian is. And so she assumed that I was not a nice person. And she says, well, all that's wrong with you is an inner ear virus, and you're just scared. And here, put this in there. She says, there's nothing wrong with you. I said, I think you need to draw the basic labs, just the basic laboratory. And she says, no, I'm discharging you. I said, there's something wrong with me. She goes, well, I agree. You're having panic attacks, and that's all that's wrong with you. I says, I'm not one to have panic attacks like this. And she says, well, I'm going to put some Xanax or some more sedative in your IV. And I thought, this is baloney. I said, just draw my blood. Just do a basic blood. I said, my symptoms warrant a basic blood draw, like the basic CBCs, and then your chem screen. It's cheap, it's quick, your insurance will pay for it most of the time. But she got into a tizzy with me, and she refused to draw my blood. And she says, you were just having a panic attack. And I didn't tell her that I was having symptoms of pica, or some people call it pica. It's where you want to taste or eat weird stuff. And it's from being anemic. And pregnant girls will eat ice. That's why when you see a pregnant girl eating ice or ice cream or something, it's because she has pica or pica. So I didn't want to tell the doctor or anybody that I've been sniffing shoe polish, wax-based shoe polish. And I thought that was the reason why I was getting dizzy. That was the reason I was feeling weird. And I had been sniffing wax-based shoe polish. That's that like shoe shine, shinola, shino. So, so then I argued with her, and the nurse brought in some more, another injection for another shot of Xanax to put in my arm. And I said, no, I don't need Xanax. I need a blood draw. She says, you're being difficult. There is nothing wrong with you. Your symptoms do not warrant a blood draw. And I'm discharging you. And unless you take the Xanax or the sedative. And I thought, my goodness sakes. So it gets worse. So the nurse comes in and she says, well, the doctor wants you to have this to see how it reacts. Well, the first time they gave me the Xanax, it made me feel like I was going to die. And I told her, it makes me feel like I might die. Something's wrong. And she says, you're just panicking. You're just having a major panic attack. And I said, no, there's something wrong. But she refused. I said, please just do a basic blood draw. But she refused to do it. And that almost killed me. I was close to having a heart attack and sudden death because I was so anemic. My hemoglobin was 5.1. Had she drawn my blood, she would have seen that my hemoglobin was 4.1 or 5.1. And so the nurse came over and she says, well, the doctor wants you to do a little bit of this. And I said, no, I want my blood drawn. And I pulled the IV out of my arm. I said, you're not going to put any more Xanax. That's not what's wrong with me. Please listen to me. There's something wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just having a panic attack. And I says, well, that fat lesbian just doesn't know what she's doing. And she is refusing to draw my blood. And oh my. So then they said, well, we're discharging you from the hospital. And they did. They got the papers together and sent me out the door. And it was Sunday morning, and it was in August. And my lips were blue, my fingers were blue, and I was shaking so bad because I was cold. And they said, well, you're just having a panic attack. And I said, no, there's something wrong, please. You know, when you should listen to a patient. There were big clues that they missed out on, and they wanted to be right, and they were mad because I wouldn't listen to their doctoring. I refused to have the more Xanax, and I pulled the IV out so they couldn't get it to me, and they discharged me from the hospital, and I left. And it was Sunday morning, and I was shivering cold, and it was 85 degrees out that morning. And I said, something is wrong. So we went to Starbucks, and I got a hot cocoa, and I just shivered ice cold. I said, Larry, there's something seriously wrong with me. He says, I know. He says, what should you do? You know, I should have gone to a different hospital. That could have killed me. I could have died. I was close to dying. So whenever you have something that bad and you really think that you need help, it's not going to hurt to go seek a second opinion or see another doctor or go to a different town or whatever. But that fat hippo, and I don't want to fat shame because I have loved ones who are on the heavy side, and I'm not skinny myself. So anyway, I thought, well, what the heck? There's nothing wrong with me. So I'm just having a panic attack and whatever. So the next day, I got in my car and I drove my grandkids the hour drive to their home in Hillsboro. And I pulled into Kentucky Fried Chicken drive-thru to get some chicken. Okay, it's ready. Oh, girls, you want to get your thing? So I said, okay. So there were 2 deer in the front. Okay. I see that. So anyway, I'm driving my car. Girls, feed yourself, and here's a biscuit. And so here's my little chair. Yeah, I just took these 20 steps here. Couldn't even get 20 steps without losing my breath. Otis, get down. Get down. So I pulled into the Kentucky Fried Chicken and I fell asleep at the drive-thru, and they said, "Are you all right?" I said, "Oh, I'm just really tired." And I had just had a half-hour nap at my granddaughter's and dropped them off, so I didn't have my grandkids in the car, thank God. So then I was driving, and I closed my eyes just for a second because my eyelids were heavy, and I went across 4 lanes of highway as I fell asleep. I didn't fall asleep, I was fainting. And I hit the gravel, and my car hit the ditch. Oh, my legs are swollen. So went to a different hospital, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. And so this new doctor drew my blood and said, "Well, I'll call you. I'm going to run this to the lab, and we'll get the results back later, and then I'll call you." So I'm in my little area of town here in Barton, and I pulled over to the little store and I took a little nap. And I was exhausted. And then I drove another half a mile and I pulled over and I took another nap. And I kept pulling over and driving, napping. And then pretty soon I was at the bottom of my hill, had a half a mile to go, and my phone rang, and it was the doctor's office, my new doctor's. And they said, "Cheryl, where are you?" I says, I'm almost home. I'm just gonna go home." They said, "No, stop driving. You cannot drive another inch." Girls, would you bring me my soda? I don't know. I think it's in that green thing. Yeah, add some more. Yeah. So he called me and he said, "Pull over. You cannot drive another inch." He says, "Your hemoglobin is 5.1. That's over 2/3 of your blood missing."
Where's your green cup?
I don't know.
Do you want half and half?
Yeah. See if there's one in my house, in my bedroom. So anyway, so the doctor was shocked. He says, "Well, you look fine. You're because I'm darker. I'm half Mexican, and so I have darker skin, and so I don't look all pale and pasty. Although I am looking pale and pasty right now. So he says, well, let's see what your blood comes back. And sure enough, it came back with over, what would I say, half of my, 2/3 of my blood was missing. And he says, I'm sending an ambulance to your home. What is your address? And gave my address. And I said, my husband should be home in a few minutes. And Larry arrived at home and he says, I'll take her to the ER. So they was direct admit. I didn't go into the ER. I just went direct admit into the hospital because I was in danger of dying. Because when you get that low, your hemoglobin goes down that low, you die. Some people have lived with a hemoglobin of 4 point. Huh?
There's a different juice in here.
Yeah, I'll take that. Just add more.
Of the thing I showed you.
Yeah, just add more to it. Yeah. Just keep adding more to it. I'll drink that plus. So, Mr. Whistle, good evening. Oh, thank you for coming, Mr. Whistle. I'm talking about my my recent
Do you want some ice cubes in here?
oh, you like my scamming videos? Yeah, a little bit of ice. So I love to scam the scammers. I was in the hospital and I got a scammer call. I like to tell him my name is. Guess what my new name is? I can't remember right now. It's what's my new name? I told you I can't think. It is oh my god. See, when you're missing your blood, you can't think. And I can't even play the piano. I can't turn the TV on. But it's Luna. Luna Tick is my name. And thank you, hon. And I say it's Luna, Luna, like the moon, and Tick, Ticchh. And the HH stands for Hungarian Hawaiian. And I'm named after my first great grandson. And they always go, oh, that's really cool. How could have I named after my first great grandson when I'm 70 years old? Lunatic. They don't get it because they're from Pakistan. No, I like the people. I love the Indian people, but I don't like the lies and the things that they do. Huh? Liza, one of my foreign exchange students, she's Indian, and she doesn't like the scammers either. She knows that they're liars and they make people's money. So she fires back at them in her Indian language. So tells them that they're scammers, but they argue with her, and then they figure that I'm scamming them, wasting their time. I'm so thirsty. I didn't get anything to drink. I didn't get any IVs. I was in the hospital for 4 days. So, it wasn't just a little bit of what went on. I mean, I was dying. I was so exhausted and just not able to function or even think. And they gave me 1 unit of blood, and then a couple of hours, another unit of blood. And then they test my blood again. It would go up to 8, and then it dropped down to 7. And they said, you're bleeding out somewhere in your intestine. So I have Crohn's disease. And I haven't been taking care of my Crohn's. I've been careless, and I've been doing stuff all wrong, and that's what got me in trouble this time, and that just about killed me, and that is why I just about died this time. This was worse than the first time. when I had an arteriovenous malformation. It's an artery and a vein that gets together at birth. It's like a vein and an artery, vein and an artery, vein and artery, and then pretty soon it makes a great big ball, and it makes a vein and artery as you get age, and then the walls get weaker and weaker and weaker, and pretty soon they give out, and these blood vessels start bursting. When you're about 40 years old, I knew somebody that she was having dinner with her friend, and she just went cunk. She just clunked over dead with the arteriovenous malformation, the vein in her brain and the artery blew. But if you get it in time, you can live, but it's kind of risky. But my first one was gotten in time. They found it and by accident, and the surgeon that did my surgery, Dr. Ted Mackett, he said I was a sneeze away from sudden death. That if I would have sneezed really hard, it would have blown that artery apart and the vein, and I would have bled out. And before I could have said, I feel awful. Um, so there wouldn't have been time to save me. But he's a godly man. Dr. Mackett was head of surgery down in Loma Linda, California. My mom used to work at Loma Linda Adventist Medical Center, and the Adventists are known for their hospitals and schools, and a lot of Adventists are doctors and lawyers, professional people, but that doesn't make them good people. That's another leg. So Dr. Mackett and Dr. Rippey, Dr. Wes Rippey, he looks like a walrus. Um, they did surgery on me because I did that swallowable pill camera. Do you have that camera here, Larry? That little pill? It's about the size of a large vitamin. And, oh, okay. Ask Larry where my pill camera is. I need my pill camera. And it's this the size of a pill, and you swallow it, and then it goes down and it takes pictures of your intestine until you just poop it out and flush it. You don't need to retrieve it. So, because it shows the images, it's a TV station and a radio station all in one. And Larry was just fascinated with the. Oh, okay. All right. You can look up pill camera. And do you have my cell phone? Bring my cell phone here and I'll show you. And so I did that pill camera, and I didn't have, because now it's discovered I have Ehler Danlos, and that means that I don't digest food. Sometimes my digestion just stops. And then when that happens, nothing goes through. And oh, wow. Here's a bald eagle flies away with someone's house cat. Oh my gosh, in northern Minnesota. Yikes. Oh my goodness. That's scary. Oh my gosh. That's scary. We have a black and white cat, Felix, and I worry because the hawks, the other day a hawk flew down and got a rabbit. Yeah. So anyway, so I did that swallowable pill camera. It didn't show any pictures or anything, and it stayed in my intestines. And the doctor said, we got to open you up and take it out. And so he did. And lo and behold, there it was. And so in my lower small intestines, so they resected, they got that section like a half a foot of intestines, and they threw They had to throw that Crohn's away. And then they kept the section where my pill was, and it didn't show anything. But anyway, because that pill camera got stuck in my intestine, Dr. Mackett opened me up. And because Dr. Mackett is such a good, and he's a godly man, he's a very godly man. Um, I've known him for a number of years. And if I ever need surgery again, I want Dr. Mackett, Ted Mackett. And he he told Dr. Rippey, he says, I don't think this is where she's bleeding from. This is not the cause of her bleed, was that small area. He says, I want to go looking. So he went looking up in the jejunum area, that's up towards my upper intestines into my heart. And he found Dr. Mackett. He found the AVM. And he said, that's where your bleeding is from. So he took that area of my intestine out, and that saved my life, because had they just taken that camera out of my intestine and sewed me shut, I would have died, because they wouldn't have seen the upper end of my intestines. So I feel the Lord led Dr. Mackett. He always prays before he does surgery. And Dr. Ted Mackett, M-A-C. I don't know what it's like. What I can leave a link here. Anyway, that was my experience with the AVM and how they found the leak the first time. I had 60 units of blood during that couple of weeks, months, and it almost killed me. And sometimes I wonder, wow, they should have. Then I wouldn't be in this sick again, and everything that's going on with the war and our economy crashing. Oh, I kept telling them I was thirsty there in the hospital, and I says, I'm exhausted and I'm thirsty. I haven't had anything to drink since Friday afternoon. And they said, well, we can't give you anything. I said, well, give me an IV. And I mean, that's standard protocol, is to give you a saline solution, intravenous, some IV fluids. But guess what? There's a shortage of IV fluids. So I didn't get one IV the whole 4 days I was there. And I'm trying to find an angel doctor saved my life. Yeah, he did. He really did save my life. Because had it been a different doctor, then I'll leave a link if you want to see that. But it's interesting how God answers your prayers. That had I not had that pill camera and it gotten stuck in my intestines, they wouldn't have opened me up and I would have died. I would have just gone to sleep, because you get real sleepy when you're hemoglobin. And yeah, I'm real sleepy now. So, and then it's just, I don't want to use the word crap show, shit show, but I will. The hospitals are a complete shit show right now. And I have a lot of respect for nurses and doctors because my family, a lot in my family are doctors and nurses. And I know how hard they work. And their pay isn't that much. My mom worked nights and she was always tired and always taking care of her patients. My mom was a very good nurse, but she paid dearly with that because working at nights caused her to have dementia. Sorry, I am so thirsty. So I didn't get any IVs the whole 4 days. I got little bags of solution for the medication that they were putting in my intestines. And then I told him, I says, I'm allergic to morphine. Please don't give me morphine. And it's on my chart that I'm allergic to morphine. And they said, well, what happens? I says, oh, it's bad. You don't want to know. And I had anaphylactic shock to iron infusion. And the nurse was supposed to give me 2 cc test dose. And I said, don't give me all 2 cc's. Give me a half a cc test dose. And she says, that's not enough to even test. She says, don't worry. I've never seen anybody react to iron infusion. See how clean my house is? So, yeah. So I says, do you have the antidote, the solution ready? And she pointed at her pocket. She put right here. That was a lie. She did not have the antidote ready. So I talked her into only injecting a tenth of a dose, just a little tiny bit. And the minute she did, I felt hot, searing pain shoot down my arms, uh, in my back. I had trouble breathing, and I threw myself on the floor because that's the only thing I could do is just fall on the floor. I came out of the bed and fell on the floor, and I told my husband, I'm dying, Larry. They gave me that, and I'm allergic to it. And she gave me, instead of half a cc or 2 cc's, she gave me 1 cc. And I'd asked her just a fourth of a cc, and she argued with me, thinking that she knows best. It's my body, and I don't want them to inject me with anything. But they did anyway, and I had anaphylactic shock to that. And it was like hot poker iron going down my spine. And I had trouble breathing, and they had to take me all the way down to the emergency room. So I get down to the emergency room, and I started recovering. I was breathing better and coming out of anaphylactic shock, and she did not have the antidote. She left the room, left my husband standing there, and me, the patient, there alone in the room. She should have called. All she has to do is push a button right above the patient's beds. I used to work at Portland Adventist Hospital. I'll never work there again. And all she'd had to do is to call a code, and that would have had everybody would have come running, and I could have gone down to the emergency room within seconds instead of taking 10 minutes. So that about killed me. So so this time I said, I need something for pain. There's something wrong with my back. So I kept saying, what is wrong with my back? And she says, I don't know. There's something going on. And I said, well, I want to read my charts. So now you can have your own charts. It's my chart. And so I got my chart, and I found out what was wrong. I the clip that I had put in moved, and I have a compression fracture in my back. So that's why my pain is so bad. And I says, I take oxycodone. I will bring some. And they said, no, you can't bring your own. I says, you can have it and then give me what I need. But they didn't want to do that. So I went 2 days without my pain meds and I was having withdrawal symptoms. I says, I need something for pain. I've gone through withdrawals too. I haven't had anything for 2 days. And I need something for pain now. And I started crying. So finally they came over and I said, please pay attention to my chart. It says that I'm allergic to morphine. Oh, don't worry, we read your chart. So they come over and I said, why can't they give me an IV with some fluids? I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. I haven't had anything to drink for days, 4 days without a sip of water. Good night, sweetie. Cameron, you're staying home. Yeah, you're gonna stay home, and then I'll take you to school. Okay. She has a cold. Cameron has a cold. Did Larry's gonna do a COVID test on you tonight? Okay. Do you have a COVID test? Okay. We'll do one in the morning. Good night, girls. Don't stay up. This isn't a game night. So they're staying in the guest house. They got a cool 1,100 square foot house. It's all fixed up to the nines. They love it. Teenagers, they keep it like a little piggy sty. But the master bedroom has vaulted ceilings and it's got lights and stuff in it. So we put some track lighting in there with colored lights and stuff like that. So they think it's cool. And they go home in 4 weeks, and Larry and I are upset because we won't have our girls. But hopefully Liza Holanda from Brazil will be here. I hope so. And hopefully she'll bring me some bras this time. Because from Brazil, you'd think they'd bring bras. So anyway, I'm making a long story short or short story long about being your own advocate. You have to be your own advocate. Nurses are making mistakes. They're tired. They're overwhelmed. They've watched tons of patients die from the first round of COVID, and they don't know what this new one is. This new one is supposed to be rather benign. So it's just sad. So anyway, they're just thinking, oh, you're just a drug addict. But when you take pain meds on a regular basis, you can't skip a dose. I mean, you can, but then you get kind of panicky feeling, and it raises your blood pressure. And my blood pressure was 217 over 100. And I said, my blood pressure is deadly high, and they wouldn't give me anything for blood pressure because they said that would make me bleed more. So I says, oh my gosh, I'm going to die of the blood pressure, and then you're going to kill me. So they refused to give me anything to drink, and I was just thirsty and no pain meds. So finally, the nurse came in. She says, okay. I says, I want some oxycodone. I haven't had a dose in 24 hours, and I get it 3 times a day. Why can't you bring me my oxycodone? Well, the doctor doesn't want you to have anything by mouth. I said, put a pill in my mouth. I don't care. I can do that. I don't need water. And I said, just please, just give me some pain meds. And so about an hour later, she comes in and I've got 4 IVs. I got two, two in each arm, and one was going bad. So they tried to flush it. That's painful when they try to flush it, make it clear. And so they finally got it going, and it was working. So she was going to put the pain meds. I says, "What kind of pain meds are those?" She says, "It's just your regular pain meds." So I thought she meant oxycodone. And I says, "Yeah, I'm allergic to morphine." And she didn't say anything. And as soon as she injected it, I felt like I was going to die. It was morphine. And I had an allergic reaction. I had began having anaphylactic shock to the pain meds. So, what do you think about that? 4 days without one IV, 4 days um, without any food, water, nothing, and no pain meds for 3 days. And then when I got the pain meds, they gave me liquid morphine into my vein. Anyway, Portland Adventist is trying to kill me. So then, that's not all. That's not all. So then they said that I was to have a colonoscopy. And I says, I don't have the I don't have the strength to do this all night prep. And they said, well, they want to do it in the morning, so you have to do the prep, meaning you have to drink that gallon of salty water. And I said, well, can I have the flavor anyway? The nurse was kind of nasty. Not kind of. She was very nasty. And I says, I can't believe how mean you guys are treating me. So then they said, okay, so drink this. So I hadn't slept. So in 3 days, she gave me a Xanax, and she gave me a double. I'm not used to taking Xanax. I don't like it. And they gave me a double dose. It just walloped me where I was just sleeping. And then the gallon of that salty water that makes you your bottom run. Anyway, you get water. Anyway, I fell asleep after drinking that half a gallon of that stuff, and all that water stool came out of me, and I just pooped and peed the bed. And I called the call light a couple of times and nobody answered, and I kept falling asleep. So I guess if when they called me, I was sound asleep, so they didn't bother seeing what was wrong. And I said, I need help, please. And so finally she came in and she says, why didn't you get up and go to the bathroom like everybody else? I says, I haven't had my prednisone. My joints are achy. Ehler Danlos, you have stiff. You're real stiff, your muscles, and you can barely walk. And I couldn't get out of bed. If they were giving me $1,000,000, I couldn't get out of bed. I was so stiff because I hadn't had my prednisone in several days. My blood pressure was off the chart, and my pain was hurting me, and my back. And then she says, you could have avoided this if you would have called. I would have come and helped you to the bathroom. I said, I did call, but nobody answered. She says, that call light's working. I says, something's wrong with it. And then you're going to shame me at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're going to shame me. And there was a nurse's aide there helping her clean up, and she was so angry, and she kept cleaning cleaning it and cleaning it. And she says, I don't know why you couldn't go to the bathroom like a normal person. It can't be that bad. And I said, this is wrong. Why are you mad at me? You give me a Xanax and then you get mad at me for having diarrhea and falling asleep with the diarrhea. I said, this is so wrong. And she just totally uh, shaming me. And the nurse, um, her nurse, the nurse's aide was cleaning. I says, I am sorry. I couldn't help it. It I couldn't get up. She says, I don't know why you couldn't get up. That's just what I says, you know what? You don't know anything about Ehler Danlos. You know nothing about my illness. It's like rheumatoid arthritis, and I'm stiff, and I cannot uh, get up. It takes me a few minutes. Anyway, she kept shaming me and shaming me and shaming me, and I I have the little thing, but I'm going to talk to my doctor tomorrow. My doctor, he's not going to be happy when he hears how I was treated. Um, my doctor, I have his cell phone, home phone number, so I can call him if I need him. But I've never called him. I just don't do that. But anyway, he's going to be really upset when he finds out that I was shamed for having an accident in the bed. She says, now we got, and it smells and everything. And I tried to put some of that Ehler Danlos, not Ehler Danlos, scented stuff. Um, it's like oil. Anyway, so I put that in there so it didn't stink. But she just was shaming me to no end because I BM'd the bed and peed, and I hadn't slept in days. I was exhausted. I didn't have enough hemoglobin to even stand there. So anyway, that's my sad story. But my wish, my point is be your own. Mary, stop it. Mary Jane. See all those clothes? I did 5 loads of wash today because somebody gave me some old clothes, and I helped the homeless people through our church. So even though I'm not feeling good, I'm still doing something. So I've got 5 loads of laundry to fold and put away. But wow, you have to be your own advocate. Um, and if you missed part of this, go back to the middle part and shut up, Mary. She doesn't like buggers. Look at buggers. Mary Jane, she's part pit bull, bitch bull. Come here, Mary Jane. Come here. I don't know why she growls at the cat. She's never snapped at him, but she's growled at him for 2 years since we had her. So anyway, you have to be your own advocate. Don't let them give you medication, even though they say you need it. And just be really careful. Don't let them shoot something into you or do something that you're not comfortable with. It could kill you just because they're an MD or a doctor or have, yeah, it's not good. So pray for me and pray for anybody else. There's a lot of people that are sick right now. And don't go to the ER for COVID if you have a little And then you can live stream from the ER. Oh my gosh. If you're well enough to live stream from the ER, stay home. Do your own home COVID test. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. That is so wrong. And then after you get your COVID test and then you find out that it's positive, and then you go out to dinner and then touching stuff at Cracker Barrel, oh my, somebody needs to take you out and give you a spanking. That it was so wrong. And then beg for money because their electricity went out for a day. Oh my gosh. I am so mad that somebody would insult people and ask for money that way. So I hope I raised a lot of money for my sad fishing. Anyway, I don't need the money. I mean, I do, but uh, oh my gosh, look at my feet are swollen. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Pray for me. This isn't over yet. They don't know why I'm leaking blood, and I know I need a couple of units again because I'm not feeling good. I'm dizzy, so I'm probably back down to a 6. Um, anyway, hi Patty Fish. Um, it's been awful. Been awful the last few days. Um, I called the hospital administrator, chasing a murder. I did call the hospital administrator at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she said she would come to my room, but she didn't. And then I asked the aide, I said, did you see what she did? Why did she have to shame me? And the aide says, she just hung her head. She said, yeah, I saw that. But, of course, they're not going to say anything because then they'll get dragged into that. So they'll get in trouble. But I'm going to make it to where I am getting a lawyer and I'm going to sue. So anyway, be your own advocate. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you why this happened. I've been eating a lot of wheat, so my intestines are inflamed. My gut's hurting me. I can eat oatmeal from Bob's Red Mill, but if I eat oatmeal from anywhere else, it's contaminated with wheat. And I found that out too late. So I get oatmeal from Bob's Red Mill, and that's the only kind of oatmeal I can get because it has contaminated with wheat. So I was eating wheat and being careless and um, ate some tacos with burrito and cheese, and I'm allergic to cheese, and all of this really started hurting my intestines. And then Friday, I got to bed, and right before bedtime, I made some popcorn, and I ate a bowl of popcorn. Well, popcorn with Crohn's is equal deadly because what it did is my inflamed intestines were then scratched. This is my own theory, so who knows? So that may be why my intestines started coming around. So be your own advocate. Don't let them say, "Oh, you'll be all right." No, don't let them. Hi, Felix. Don't let them give you morphine when you're allergic to it. My goodness. Hi, Cinnamon Hot. Thank you for your prayers. Is BBP Boston here? I'm taking my piano lessons again. I'm back. Even though I don't feel good, I need to take my piano lessons because Diane is such a good teacher, and I'm such a bad student. And she said she would teach me. And yeah, so um, hopefully this will be over soon without me dying. Um, find out where that intestinal bleed is. It's a GI bleed. So, but those can be deadly. And I'm scared because I'm dizzy again. I'm back to having that feeling like I can't breathe. So I'm scared. I don't want to die and my husband. I'm 70 years old. And I don't want to leave my husband behind. He's suffered so much. He's had oral cancer. And that was let go. Yeah, the doctor refused to do anything for his oral cancer. He said that my husband had crayons on his teeth, and that caused his teeth to make a little cut in his gum. And he said, "No, something's wrong. This is cancer or something." I said, "No." And it was let go for another month. And so my husband had oral cancer and it spread. He was 35 years old. It was in 1985. And that doctor, Vincent Hansen, was let go. Another fine Portland Adventist. I'd see him at the thrift store, yeah, making donations. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I know this was long, but it's got some important information. Pray for me. Thank you, everybody, for praying, Patty, all you guys. Oh, my piano teacher made a music video um, about Ukraine, but the sound is awful. It's tinny. So my husband said he'd help me get a better microphone to pick up my beautiful piano. So anyway, I gotta end this live. There's probably nobody here. Is there anybody here? I'm falling asleep. Anyway, yeah, please pray for me and pray for Larry. We're having a hard time. And the girls, we have the girls here. Anyway, God bless you. And thank you for your support and your love. And Felix,